Hello and welcome everyone. As always, I welcome you all to the aftermarket analysis session. This is the aftermarket analysis session where we look at the Indian markets Nifty and Bank Nifty after the market closes to see where the buyers showed interest, where the sellers were active, and basically what happened on the footprint charts. If you are new here, if you want to learn order flow, want to learn how to read footprints properly, or want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, then you can join this daily live webinar at 5:01 p.m. in the evening. You will find the link to this live webinar on the GoCharting Discord and Telegram communities. Secondly, if you are using GoCharting at that particular time, you can also go to notifications, then to webinar. And you will find the link there as well, which will allow you to join this live session on GoCharting. In any case, if you are unable to join this live session, then the link to this live webinar will be available on every GoCharting YouTube channel. GoCharting has quite a few YouTube channels. There is a separate YouTube channel for each language. So most probably you will find this video on the YouTube channel in the exact same language. Okay. So now today, let's look at Nifty. And before we start reading the footprint, let's first take a look at Nifty's levels to see what kind of confirmations those levels were giving us. Okay. To use these levels, we use the volume profile. What the volume profile was telling us is that for quite a few days, Nifty was sideways here. It was stuck within this range. This was the node of the volume profile for this entire range. And this was also the point of opposition. So this was the most important zone for us. In yesterday's session, that is on last Friday, it gave a breakout to the downside. So we were expecting a pullback somewhere around here. But there was a gap up opening. And in that gap up opening, it opened above this volume profile. So that means somewhere this node also got broken. So what was our next target? It was this swing high, as simple as that, right? If this also gets broken, then the previous swing high before that. We have taken the volume profile. You all can go and check it out. These are simple confirmations from the volume profile that we have. Okay. Now let's take a look. So far, we've seen what levels the volume profile had for today. Now let's move to the footprint and see where the buyers and where the sellers showed interest today. For Nifty, we mostly use a tick size of 80 here. Okay. But if there are such big movements, in that case, you'll have to increase the tick size quite a bit, because just consider that a single candle has moved from 470 all the way to 600 or 650. So that's a 200-point movement in just one candle. So you should increase your tick size accordingly. For example, instead of 80, try setting it to 150, or you can also go to auto and adjust your tick size from there as well. Okay. So now how do we read the footprint properly? To read the footprint properly, we will use something. Delta? Okay, now what is this delta? Delta tells us the difference between buyers and sellers, as simple as that. Who tells us the difference between buyers and sellers? How does delta tell us? For example, we pick this first candle. This is the topmost value here of delta. What does delta indicate? The difference between buyers and sellers. So what is the delta value for this candle here? 682,000. That is 682,000 is inside the green box, and there is no negative sign in front of the value, so that means this is a positive delta. A positive delta simply means buyers. Whether we talk about positive delta or buyers, in the first candle, there are more buyers compared to sellers. Now, let's see how this value became so high here. This is the footprint. This is the footprint of this candle. On the left side, we have sellers. On the right side, we have buyers. No, okay. Once we add up the buyers, and let's assume that the total sum of all buyers comes to around 782,000. And let's say we add up the sellers. The total for sellers comes to only 100,000. Okay, so if the total is just 100,000, then what's the difference here? 682,000. Okay. Who is higher here? Whose value is higher? The buyers, because buyers are 782,000 and sellers are only 100,000. Just subtract it. Who came in greater numbers? Buyers. So this is what the same delta has shown. Okay. Now, look at this. Let's take this candle now. What is the value of this candle? Negative 86,000. Wherever the value is negative, so we call it negative delta. Negative delta simply means we're talking about sellers. Just like there were more buyers in the first candle, in this candle, there are more sellers, this many more. Now, by quickly looking at the delta of each candle, we can tell who is stronger in that particular candle, whether the buyer is stronger or the seller is stronger. Okay, so what will we do now? Now, you will see two types of deltas. For example, one candle has a delta of 600,000, then 100,000, again 100,000, again around 100,000. And then look at these candles, only a delta of 5,000, only 1,000, just 700, only 18,000. Now let's consider both positive and negative. Well, some candles, as you might notice, actually have a rather noticeably heavy delta. Now just give me a quick moment here, if you don't mind, please. All right then, okay. Some candles have a particularly heavy delta, and some candles have a very, very low delta. So the candles with a very high delta are the ones where there has been a lot of buying and selling. And it's probable that a significant amount of buying or selling has taken place within those candles. Where there is heavy buying and selling, that's where the potential exists for the market to create support or resistance. And those are the candles that indicate to us which way the trend will go. On the other hand, candles with only minor selling do not have the potential to move the market significantly. Neutral candles like these exist because they involve compound selling. So here what we will do is pick those candles where there is heavy buying and selling. Okay? So what will we do? First of all, we will only pick those candles whose delta is heavy, and we will read the footprints of only those candles. For example, look at the delta of the first candle. 600,000 is a very high value. What does the delta indicate in this candle? There are more buyers. On the footprint, which side are the buyers on? On the right side, it jumped to the buyers' side. Okay. Since there are more buyers on the buyer's side, we will look for the spot where the most significant buying has taken place. Where has the most significant buying happened here? It happened in two places. One is here, look, around 250,000, around 350,000, and the other is here. These are the two spots where the most buying has taken place. So now what we'll do is mark these same two levels. Okay, now what did we do? We simply looked at what the delta indicated for the candles, which candle had a heavy delta. Just like here, where the positive delta was higher, we focused on the candle with the positive delta on the buyer's side and marked the buying zones accordingly. We have only marked the areas where maximum buying has taken place. Maximum buying means these are the spots where the biggest players have made their purchases. What happened in the next candle? Again, buying of around 100,000, again, buying close to 100,000, and again, buying close to 100,000. All of this is being shown to us by the delta. The buying zones were truly held. In the second candle as well, buying happened exactly at the same spot where it occurred in the first candle. Look at the third candle as well. This is the strongest buying zone in the first candle. This is the strongest buying zone in the second candle. And this is also the strongest buying zone in the third candle. This means that this is the zone where the maximum buyers came in. The price went up. There's resistance, but that's not a problem. But boss, just look at how much heavy buying has happened here. All right. There was a proper pullback. This is the pullback candle. Now, during the pullback candle, what happened? Look at the delta. Where there was buying of 600,000, even 100,000 at a time, here the delta is only 20,000. It's very low. That's very little selling compared to the pullback happened properly and it held. These two candles held. And then there was an upside movement. Buyers entered. In the first three candles, the price went up. This confirmed that there was no buying absorption anywhere, boss. there was a pullback and the price went up. Now, as soon as the price went up, even in this move from here to here, we saw some really strong buying. What was that strong buying? Look at this. In both candles, there was buying of 1 lakh each. See, these are those buying zones again. Here, a quantity of 1 lakh was bought. And here as well, there was buying of 1 lakh. At 10 Saunun, there was a candle where selling did come in Binod Band, but it was the same kind of selling as before. However, this buying zone was not broken anywhere. So what does this mean for your market makers? It means that as long as no buying zone is broken, we can expect the market to remain bearish. That's where the market got stuck. The pullback continued. It was quite a significant pullback. At some point, there was also a thought that the market might go sideways, but still, the buying zone kept holding strong. Look here, you can see the buying zone held well, and there was another move to the upside. This upside movement was also quite a solid upward move. The most significant buying zone for this upside movement, where did it happen? Oh, look, at 95, at 73. There was also a substantial pullback at 95 here. And we saw yet another upward movement. There was another round of buying activity during this upside move. There was a pullback here as well. And from this very point, Nifty closed while continuing its upward movement. So what was the scene today? If we look at Nifty, it opened here and gave us movement up to this point. From here to here, what did we observe? The first buying spot, the second buying spot, and then a pullback occurred. It gave an upside movement. In this upside movement, we saw another buying opportunity. At this third buying spot, it got stuck at the same place. It gave an upside movement. In this upside movement, we saw the most buying here. This is the fourth spot where buyers came in. It gave an upside movement. Here too, a buying activity was observed. This was the fifth spot where buyers came in, a pullback occurred, and an upside movement happened. These are the places where the big players bought in Nifty today. Here, and here, there was a perfect pullback. Only the 10 AM candle was such that showed selling activity, this candle. But even this candle did not break any buying zone. In any case, if this buying zone had been broken along with this selling, then it would mean that this buying zone would no longer be as effective in the market. If a pullback had come here, we might have seen movement up to this point. It's all about probability, okay? But selling came in and the support zone held up well. With every upside movement, here you saw some buying candles, and that very buying acted as the support zone. This was today's analysis of Nifty. It gave very solid confirmations. You all should read the footprint carefully and watch the video by pausing it again and again. Do your own analysis as well. The block size boost for Nifty is 80, but whenever the market shows more movement, you can also use 150. Assume the tick size for for Bank Nifty is around 350 to 400. Okay. This was today's analysis of Nifty. It worked very perfectly. Today, the order flow gave a solid confirmation everywhere, very perfectly. Okay. Go to the comments section of this video and let me know how you liked the video, how you found the analysis. If you want more analysis, you can comment that as well. Now, if you have any questions, please unmute yourselves and ask.